Right now, as you are watching this, someone in America just turned 62 and is staring at their Social Security statement, wondering, should I take it now or wait? And every financial advisor on the internet is screaming the same thing. Wait until 67. No, wait until 70. You get 124% of your benefit. Yeah, sure. But here is what nobody wants to tell you. For millions of Americans, filing at 62 isn't just reasonable. It might actually be the smartest financial move you'll ever make. And I'm not saying that to be contrarian, but I'm saying it because the math, the current economic environment. So today, we're breaking down 7 real, legitimate, data-backed reasons why filing for Social Security at 62 could be the right call. Not for everyone, but potentially for you. And stick around for reason number 5, because it is the one that changed how I personally think about this entire debate. Before we dive in, let's set the baseline. If you were born in 1964 or later, which is most people turning 62 right now, your full retirement age is 67. That is when you are entitled to 100% of your calculated benefit. If you file at 62, you are taking a permanent reduction. We're talking roughly 30% less per month for life. No take backs. And if you wait until 70, you get delayed retirement credits, an extra 8% per year past your full retirement age, which bumps your benefit up to about 124% of your full amount. So, on the surface, filing at 62 drops that to around $1,400. Filing at 70 pushes it up to roughly $2,480. That difference is real. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but here is where the conventional wisdom starts to crack. This is the most obvious one, and yet people constantly underestimate how much it actually matters. When you file at 62, you start collecting checks immediately. 5 full years before someone who waits until 67. 8 full years before someone who waits until 70. Let's run through a simple example. Say your full retirement benefit at 67 would be $2,000 a month. At 62, you decollect roughly $1,400 a month. That means between 62 and 67, you are pulling in about $84,000. That is $84,000 that the person waiting until 67 hasn't seen a single dollar of. Now here's the key concept. The break-even age. That is the point where the person who waited finally catches up in total lifetime benefits. And depending on the numbers, that break-even point between filing at 62 versus 67 typically lands somewhere around age 78 to 80. Think about that. If you don't live past 80, and a significant portion of the population does, you would have come out ahead by filing early. I'm not being morbid here. I'm being realistic. If you are a 62-year-old male with average health, the statistics say your break-even gamble is essentially a coin flip. And if you have any health concerns, which we'll get into later, the math tilts even more in favor of filing early. The financial planning industry loves to model these scenarios, assuming you live to 90 or 95. And sure, some of you will, but building your entire strategy around the assumption that you'll outlive the vast majority of Americans. That is not conservative planning. That is wishful thinking, dressed up as math. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. In February 2026, the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, released its latest projection, the Old Age and Survivors Insurance Trust Fund, which is the fund that actually pays your retirement benefits, is now projected to be depleted by 2032. Not 2034, not 2033, 2032. That is 6 years from now. Last year, they said 2033. The year before, the trustees said 2034. The line keeps moving forward, and it is not moving in your favor. Now, and I want to be very clear about this, depletion does not mean Social Security disappears. The CBO estimates that would mean an immediate cut to about 72 to 77 cents on the dollar. Some estimates say benefits could be reduced by roughly 28% between 2033 and 2036. Let me say that again. If you are waiting until 67 or 70 to maximize your benefit, and Congress doesn't act, you could be maximizing a benefit that then gets slashed by over a quarter. Now, will Congress act? Probably. Social Security is the third rail of American politics. Both parties know that cutting benefits for current retirees is politically suicidal, but probably is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. And the current political environment, the budget fights, the national debt debates, the staffing chaos at the SSA, none of that inspires confidence that a clean, painless fix is coming anytime soon. Here is what I'd say. If you're someone who values certainty, getting money in your hands now, versus a promise of more money later, from a system under real financial stress, filing at 62 is a hedge. You're locking in 5 to 8 years of guaranteed payments before any potential legislative changes or benefit adjustments take effect. Is it a guarantee that benefits will be cut? No. And it should scare you, regardless of when you plan to file. Over the past year, the Social Security Administration has been gutted. There is no other word for it. Following the DOGE-driven federal workforce reductions, the SSA lost thousands of employees. By mid-2025, reports indicated that one SSA employee was expected to serve roughly 1,480 beneficiaries. The agency announced plans to cut in person field office visits by 50% in 2026, pushing people toward online and phone services. If you've tried calling the SSA recently, you know the phone system can be a nightmare. Field offices have reduced hours. Some have shut their doors entirely. Even if temporarily, the agency postponed a major technology rollout in April 2026 for the second time because they simply don't have the capacity to implement it. What does this mean for you? Processing delays. If you plan to file at 67 or 70 and you hit a snag, a records issue, a spousal benefit complication, an earnings discrepancy, resolving it could take months in the current environment. Filing at 62 gives you time. You get into the system early. You start your benefit. And if there are issues, you have years to sort them out before you are in your late 60s or 70s and potentially more reliant on that income. Getting your foot in the door sooner while the agency is still functioning, even if barely, is a legitimate strategic consideration that nobody was talking about 2 years ago. I touched on this earlier with the break-even analysis. But let's go deeper. The entire argument for delaying Social Security is built on one assumption: that you'll live long enough to enjoy the bigger checks. But that assumption isn't just about life expectancy. It is about quality of life. There is a difference between being alive at 80 and being healthy enough at 80 to actually enjoy your money. The years between 62 and 70 are, for many people, the most active, most mobile, most enjoyable years of their retirement. That is when you can play with your grandkids without needing help getting off the floor. That is when you can actually do the things you spent your whole career dreaming about. Every year you delay is a year of income you're sacrificing during the period of your life when you're most capable of using it. And then there is the clinical side. If you have a family history of heart disease, cancer, diabetes, or any number of chronic conditions, the actuarial math changes dramatically if your personal life expectancy is below that break. Even age of 78 to 80, every month you delay is money you're statistically likely to leave on the table. Nobody likes to think about this, but your financial plan has to account for the person you actually are, not some idealized version of yourself that lives to 95 and plays golf every morning. If your doctor has told you something that concerns you, or if you just look at your family tree and see a pattern, filing early isn't pessimism, it is realism. This is the one that I think is genuinely underappreciated. Here is a scenario that is way more common than people realize. You are 62. You've got a mortgage with maybe $80,000 left on it. Or maybe you've got $30,000 in credit card debt from a medical emergency 3 years ago. Or maybe your car is falling apart and you need a reliable vehicle, but you don't want to take on a car payment with no income. Financial advisors love to run their Social Security models in a vacuum, as if the only variable that matters is the size of your monthly check. But real life doesn't work in a vacuum. Real life has interest rates. Right now, the average credit card APR is hovering above 20%. You know what? The return on delaying Social Security is about 6 to 8% per year in increased benefits. That is great, but if you are simultaneously carrying 22% credit card debt, you are losing the trade. Taking Social Security at 62 and using that income to aggressively pay down high interest debt can actually put you in a better net financial position by 67 than if you'd waited and let that debt compound for 5 more years. The same logic applies to avoiding new debt. If Social Security at 62 means you don't have to take out a reverse mortgage, don't have to rack up credit cards, don't have to drain a retirement account, and trigger tax penalties, the cost of the reduced benefit is more than offset by the debt you never took on. This isn't theoretical. This is the reality for tens of millions of Americans. And frankly, if the personal finance industry spent less time optimizing spreadsheets and more time talking to actual 62-year-olds, they'd understand why this reason alone justifies early filing for a huge chunk of the population. All right, this one requires a little bit of nuance, but stay with me because it is powerful. Social Security isn't just about your benefit. If you're married, there is a whole layer of spousal and survivor benefits that interact with your claiming decision. Here is a strategy that a lot of couples overlook. Let's say you're the lower earner in your household. Your full retirement benefit at 67 might be $1,500, while your spouse's is $2,800. In this scenario, your benefit, while nice, is not the big one. The big one is your spouse's. If you file at 62, yes, your benefit gets reduced to around $1,050. But here is the move. By taking your reduced benefit early, you and your spouse now have income coming in while your spouse delays their benefit until 70. Every year your spouse delays, their benefit grows by 8%. By the time they file at 70, their monthly check is around $3,472. And here is the kicker. When one spouse passes away, the surviving spouse gets the higher of the two benefits. So if your spouse waited until 70 and built up that maximum benefit, you're now protected with the largest possible survivor benefit for the rest of your life. Your smaller early benefit funded the household in the interim, and the bigger benefit was left to grow. This is called a split filing strategy, and it is one of the most effective tools married couples have. But it only works if one spouse is willing to file early. In this case, filing at 62 isn't a compromise. It is the engine that makes the whole strategy run. Talk to anyone who does Social Security planning professionally, not just generic financial advising, but actual claiming optimization. And they'll tell you this scenario comes up constantly for married couples with a meaningful earnings gap. Now, I saved this one for last because it is the most debated, and rightfully so. But I want to lay it out. Honestly, the argument goes like this. Take Social Security at 62. Spend it. Invest it instead. And let compound growth do its thing. For 8 years until the people who waited until 70 start collecting. Let us model it out. You file at 62 and get $1,400 a month. You invest every dollar into a low cost S&P 500 index fund. Historically, the S&P 500 has returned roughly 10% per year, on average before inflation, somewhere around 7% after inflation. Over 8 years of monthly contributions at $1,400. Even at a conservative 7% real return, you'd have a portfolio worth roughly $150,000 to $160,000. By the time you are 70, that $150,000, throwing off even a modest 4% withdrawal rate, generates $6,000 a year, $500 a month, on top of your Social Security. That is real money. Now, the counter-argument is valid. The stock market does return 7% every year. Some years, it drops 20, 30, even 40%. And if you happen to start investing your Social Security checks right before a major correction, the math falls apart. Sequence of returns. Risk is real, and anyone who tells you this strategy is guaranteed to work is selling you something. But here is the honest assessment. If you have the discipline to invest consistently, if you don't need the money for living expenses, and if you can stomach volatility, this strategy has a reasonable probability of working in your favor. Over an 8-year time horizon, you're essentially converting a guaranteed income stream into a growth asset. It is a trade-off, not a free lunch. And let me add one more layer. Even if the investment portfolio merely matches the break-even amount, you now have something that the person who waited until 70 doesn't have. A liquid asset. Social Security is an income stream. You can't borrow against it. You can't leave it to your kids in a lump sum. When the surviving spouse passes, you can't use it as collateral. A portfolio, you can. That flexibility has value, even if the raw dollar amounts end up roughly equivalent. So, let's bring it all together. 7 reasons. Let me run through them one more time. 1. You collect 5 to 8 extra years of income, and the break-even math is far less clear-cut than the just wait crowd suggests. 2. The Social Security Trust Fund is now projected to run dry by 2032, and the political landscape doesn't exactly inspire confidence in a clean fix. 3. The SSA itself is in operational chaos, with staffing cuts, office closures, and processing delays that make getting into the system sooner a practical advantage. 4. Your health and quality of life aren't guaranteed, and the best years of your retirement might be the early ones. 5. Early benefits can eliminate high-interest debt. 6. If you're married, filing early as the lower earner can enable a powerful split strategy that maximizes your household's lifetime benefits. And 7. With discipline and risk tolerance, investing your early benefits can build a liquid portfolio that adds flexibility and potentially comes out ahead. Now, and I want to be completely straight with you, none of this means everyone should file at 62. If you're in excellent health, have no debt, are still earning a good salary, and have a family history of living into your 90s, waiting probably makes more sense for you. This isn't a one-size-fits-all answer, but the idea that filing at 62 is always a mistake, that it is always leaving money on the table. Many of them are making a calculated decision based on their health, their debt, their family situation, and yes, their gut feeling about where this program is headed. The best financial decision is the one that accounts for your actual life, not a spreadsheet's version of it. That is it for today. If you found this useful, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. We break down money, policy, and the real-world strategies that actually matter.